Hey folks, this is BestInSlot. Welcome to the final of our species overviews for the brand new Park Managers Collection Pack for Jurassic World Evolution 2, releasing tomorrow for all you lovely people at home. We've seen our two terrestrial dinosaurs, we've seen our aquatic megalodon. It's finally time to take to the skies with our brand new azdarchid, Thanatosdrakon. Here we go.
Trying to brush up on my Greek lately, and you know what? I think it's going pretty well. As soon as I heard we had a Thanatosdrakon, I was like, great, a dragon of death. And it slowly dawned on me what I just said. So, you're good to look after this one, right? I mean, I can't afford for this to end in tragedy.
So, Thanatosdrakon, our brand new azdarchid, finally another large azdarchid in the game. We'll do a bit of a size comparison with the Quetzalcoatlus at some point later on in the video, because I'm very curious. It's definitely smaller than the Quetz, but other than that, I would say it's by a fairly substantial margin the largest pterosaur we have in the game, if you ignore, of course, the oversized Quetzalcoatlus. In reality, of course, Thanatos wasn't much different in size than Quetzal, only had a few feet difference in terms of the wingspan. Now, we'll go ahead and check out the skins, of course, in-game a little bit later on in the species viewer, but we can watch it in action now, and it is a fairly... Ooh, it's having a little... Was that a stretch, or was that meant to be like a faux defecation? But there we have it, this rather beautiful, open your eyes, rather beautiful looking azdarchid, fully feathered, as you can see, right down to the body, and then nearly onto the wings as well. It's just feathered into there, the lower body also fully feathered. It cuts in at the beak there. We've got this lovely, very evocative coloured pattern on the beak with all these striations and marks and little grooves going on in there as well. And I think it looks pretty great, actually, I've got to say. I think it's really, really pretty. I love that it's fully feathered, or, well, the logical place is fully feathered, of course. And I love the colours. This one in particular with this kind of mess of blues and pinks. It's a really nice variety of colours. We've got crimsons, blues, and softer brown tones and whites. And let's watch it eat some fish, shall we? Let's see this in slow motion. It really is a beautiful creature, actually. Like the best of the modern frontier designs. I know I say this a lot, but it does feel a little bit like a piece of paleo art brought to life. Tilt the neck back, straightens the neck out into this almost vertical, entirely vertical shape, allowing the fish to travel down. You know, kind of undoing that default kind of crook that it has going on in the neck there. And takes off majestically, launches itself into the sky. I should mention now, I'm going to talk about this once and then not again. There's always a little bit of a sadness with a new azdarchid because, again, they're not walking around. Our pterosaurs have no terrestrial ability whatsoever. If we're getting Evolution 3, which we are, or whatever the game is called, one of the big features I want to make it into the game is absolutely the ability for our pterosaurs to navigate around on the ground, walk around on the ground, especially your azdarchids. It really feels like something azdarchids should do. They should be able to hunt terrestrially. That's such a big part of what makes these large azdarchids really cool. Now, this animation, this is their idle sort of animation. I think it's meant to be stretching, but it really looks like the kind of pose that birds do when they defecate. Am I crazy? That kind of, you know, it's kind of pushing the rear out, stretching the body forward. I think it's a stretch, but that's not what it's coming across like to me. It really does. Oh, I don't know if it's meant to be. It would be a bit weird to have this animation and then not have the feces, I suppose. I think it's meant to be a stretch, but I'm going to interpret it differently because I think it's funnier. Shout out as well to the audio people. Again, this is another creature. All the creatures in the pack make really nice noises. They've all got really cool exit music as well. I love that that's something they've done. Obviously, a lot of creatures in this game leave to the same music, but I love that they still keep making unique pieces for each individual animal. It's something they've kept even as support in the game becomes a little bit less developed over time. I'm not saying anything about that one. Wasn't a great impression. Nice sound effects there as well. There's a little feature they do all the time when they make the beats click together, and it's a really nice noise, and they keep doing it with all the new pterosaurs, and I really like hearing it every single time. I think this thing sounds pretty beautiful in general, it must be said. Has a little nap, just completely breaks its neck and folds itself into this awkward little shape, as the larger ones always do. I want to try some other hunting. We saw in the teaser trailer that it's capable of hunting goats, I believe. So we're going to get rid of the fish and we're going to give them a goat to kill. Okay, it's about to happen. It's going in for its landing. You see the wings spread out and horizontal as much as possible. Beak coming down, feet coming forward as well, ready to grab the goat. Let's see this play out. I'm trying to pick where I want to go. About there, maybe? Oh! Ooh. That's a really, really nice animation. I'm going to do it one more time and talk through it this time. I think it's really, really beautifully animated, actually. Okay, here we go. For the last time go, I promise. I won't torture you anymore. But Thanatos is circling in. Gonna miss slightly. It's a little bit janky there. Right, let's move around to this side. So it's going in. It's gonna grab it in its talons there. You can see the feathers actually fade just around here, getting thinner and thinner down the legs until they disappear just for the feet. Grabs it. Let's grab that shot. So it grabs it at its haunches. You see the goat freaking out a little bit, which is understandable given the situation. Thanatos flaps its wings, and then it kind of shifts its entire lower body forward until it's entirely vertical almost, except the feet. And the feet are then going to come forward themselves. Lifts the feet up, tilts the neck back, just shifting the entire momentum and the center of gravity of its body. The goat, again, freaking out a little bit, understandably. And then it doesn't let go. It kind of uses the goat as a sort of like a mid-air jump-off point almost, as it usually would to take off, and fly from like a pillar or something like that. And instead, that force boots the goat down to the ground. Thanatos lands and very quickly delivers a brutal beak neck spike kill straight to the goat's neck. It's cool. I mean, it's not cool for the goat, but it's cool for me. Right, I think that'll be the same for the homolocephaly, but we're going to try it out anyway. Yep, same animation, but feels just that little bit more brutal against the homolocephaly for some reason. Now, as you may have seen from the stats a little bit earlier, these guys actually like to live with the pteranodon. So I couldn't have them hunt the pteranodon. I'd like to see them try to take down a smaller pterosaur though, so I've given them a Geosternbergia. And I just wanted to show you the sort of size comparison. Funnily enough, wingspan is not that different between the two, but in terms of heft, in terms of body length, in terms of just sheer size, in that regard, really, I'd say the Thanatos is safely the second biggest. I'm curious how big it looks compared to the Quetzal. Like I say, we'll check that out later, but it's much, much bigger than Geosternbergia at the very least, as you would expect. Man, every time a new update comes out, NVIDIA Ansel ceases to work and I can't take cool screenshots anymore. It's really irritating. I'm going to let this play out in slow motion. I assume Thanatosdrakon is about to murder Geo, but let's find out. You dead? You okay? Yeah, you seem strangely okay. Kind of what you'd expect, right? Just that regular old push down with the legs, and Geo falls to the ground and is very dead. So, next step. Velociraptor, something that does have interactions with several pterosaurs. You know, it hunts down the pteranodon. It itself hunts down the pteranodon, so I'm always a little bit curious whether it could interact with something else. Oh, here we go, here we go. Let's go from this way. Okay, let's have another little peek at this. Also, I went and checked the goat kill animation for the Pteranodon and the Quetz just to double check, and it is indeed, I mean, as far as I can tell, it's a completely unique kill, which is fantastic to see, given that Thanatos is its own size. You know, there's nothing quite this size in the game of the pterosaurs. So, anyways, slow motion. Let's see this raptor take down, or attempt to take down. I think that's the same as the Pteranodon one, in that the Pteranodon goes in. Does the Pteranodon grab it? I did see it a second ago, but I couldn't quite figure it out. But the Pteranodon goes in for the grab. Well, in this case, the Thanatosdrakon goes in for the grab, kind of thinks better of it and tries to fly away, and then Velociraptor, of course, jumps, bites down on its wing, and grabs it down to the ground. If a raptor was going to take down Thanatosdrakon, that is probably the only way it could do it. I still think it's maybe a little bit too much, but I do like that they have an interaction. Okay, let's try now with the Gallimimus. I'm just kind of going through the creatures that I know that Pteranodon can hunt, generally speaking. I feel like that's the set that it's going to have. It might have different animations, but I feel like it's going to hunt the same things. You're not going to make it, are you, buddy? Oh, you're trying again. And then I got destroyed by the bloody roof of the aviary. Let's get that one more time. Okay, once more in slow motion. Again, I don't think that's exactly the same. Anyways, time for our final hunt combo then. I want to see the Quetz take on the Thanatosdrakon. Obviously, Quetz is going to win. Quetz is a lot bigger. But it's not until you bring Quetz into the game you realise just how much bigger, because the Quetz is gigantic. Thanatosdrakon is noticeably larger than every other pterosaur in the game, and yet, compared to the Quetzalcoatlus, it looks like it's child. It's young, tiny child. I've got to say, actually, I mean, I don't dislike the Dominion Quetz at all, but I think the Dominion Quetz makes Thanatosdrakon look even better design-wise. I think this is really a beautiful azdarchid. In reality, Quetzalcoatlus is like down here size-wise, you know, so it goes to show just how scaled up this Quetzalcoatlus really is. But Thanos looking beautiful. Let's see. I mean, it is going to, but let's see some things die. You know, good wholesome content. Oh, that was brutal. I keep sort of missing it because, as per usual with pterosaurs, it happens in about 2 seconds, milliseconds. It happens near instantly. That'll have to bloody do. There's nothing particularly special about it anyway. It's still a one-hit kill. Quetzalcoatlus is still an absolute monster, as you would expect. A little bit of a breakout attempt there, just so you can see it. Ramming that little crest against the wall there. Good job, buddy. Alright, we have... Oh, we have... I didn't even see that one. I saw the human get dropped from a ridiculous height. Okay. Are we about to see it? Oh, that is a hell of a drop. Oh, I went and had a little look because I couldn't remember the Pteranodon kill. It is actually the same as the Pteranodon kill, I think. So it's the same principle in that, let's do it in slow motion, in that they land on the human, have a little call, and then they start to try to fly. You can see the flap in the wings, they're trying to get up there. Humans clawing at them, and then they manage to start to get a little bit higher. How high does it go? So I think the difference is that the Thanatosdrakon gets higher than the Pteranodon does. I think it's a bigger drop. And also, it's got this movement. I'm going to go check the Pteranodon video again to double check this. But it's got the movement in the hips in the way that it does when it's killing the Homalocephali on the goat, in that it's not just dropping the person, but it's kind of flings them forward almost. It's a hell of a drop. Okay, I think I'm correct in saying it's different. It's similar but different. They definitely make it a lot higher up, and also there's more movement at the top. The Pteranodon and the Morodactylus, which has the same kill animation as the Pteranodon, they both have the same thing in which they kind of just drop the human essentially at some point. Whereas here with Thanatosdrakon, as we can see, has the call initially, which they don't. The call and the stabbing the beak forward, grabs them, picks them up, and is, as you would expect, more successful at grabbing them upwards. And then that forward momentum in the legs, that kind of tossing them to the ground like that, is unique to the Thanatosdrakon as well. So it's not entirely unique, but it is different, and it is something that makes sense that Thanatosdrakon does the same behaviour that these other pterosaurs do in a way, but it does it in a more successful manner. It's better at doing the same behaviours because it's stronger, it's larger, it can more easily move the humans around. So that makes a lot of sense. It's cool. It's not my favourite of the pterosaur animations. There's some really unique ones out there, but it's not bad. And it is a hell of a drop. Oh. Oh, buddy, it's not your day, pal. It's not your day. Cool. Right then, let's finish off taking a look at the skins for this beautiful thing. So this is actually the unpatterned version, and actually you can see a lot of coloration. This is one of those creatures that is going to look really nice patterned or unpatterned because the skin naturally has a lot of colour variation. Got the dappling on the wings, the beak has this like two-toned approach to it, and the crest itself is a different colour as well. It's got a lot of variation, a lot of pattern and colour in there, even by default. So let's go through these to kick things off. Sonoran Desert into Death Valley. I really like that one. Into Great Sandy Desert, which is incredible looking, into Champlain Valley, to Salar del Huesco, into Limpopo River, Killian Mountains, really like that as well, Yukon River, awesome, looks like a penguin, of Doom, Svalbard, Amazon Rainforest, Mangrove Forest, and Gambia River Basins. So all, I mean, lots of variety in colour, none are too saturated. And this is the one I really liked. Let's go Great Sandy Desert. I think that one was great. Let's check out the pattern. So Rana. Well, let's go Pelophylax, and again see what it adds to the pattern. So there's 3 different areas there on the head and on the beak. You can see it adds colour in a splotch at the front. It adds a big splotch here in the middle, and then where the skin hits the beak for the first time, it adds a gradient of colour there as well. And it adds a bright gradient splotchy effect over here on the wings. So the pattern is quite subtle compared to a lot of the patterns in the game. You know, it's not that much coverage compared to a lot of them. Rana, and then you stick Rana on it. It looks great. Yeah, that's a really, really cool combo. Calcarana, love that with the crimson. It looks bloodied almost on the beak. Very cool. Lithobates with sort of greens bleeding into reds. Pulcrana, blues and whites. Really like that, actually. That sort of icy colour going on down there at the bottom. Papyrana, darker blues and some teals and some greens, and Pelophylax we've seen. I want to use Pulcrana. Yeah, this is pretty sweet. I really like that combination. I think it's a beautiful creature. I really do. Let's check out a couple animations. That's the preening animation. Nom nom, nom nom. There's no sound effects in this mode, so yeah, there's that again. It's never changing. It fly up. I don't know why it's got the fly and the fly up one. I always found that weird. But yeah, that is Thanatosdrakon. Probably my favourite flying creature in the game now, I would say. Actually, I'm pretty confident on that. Let me know though, do you like Thanatosdrakon as much as I do? Thank you so much for joining me today for these species highlights. I might have already uploaded that one. I'm not sure. If I haven't, it'll be coming in about half an hour. I don't really plan this out, but we'll have a little video on the free update. Obviously, it's not huge, so there won't be much to it, but it's worth showcasing, right? Either way, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you lovely folks very, very soon. Stick around on the channel for more coverage of the brand new Park Managers collection, lots of Jurassic World Evolution 2, and lots of Jurassic World Evolution 3. Thanks for joining me. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye.
Road.